Hi, this is Mark News from Plant Talk Radio. Thanks for subscribing and listening to our podcast, Your Gardening Questions from Plant Talk Radio. If you have a gardening question you'd like our host Fred Howard to answer, send him an email. The email address is fred@planttalkradio.com. Now for today's question. Fred, we got a message this week from Dennis.
Okay.
And Dennis has a problem.
Oh.
He said he looked out his window the other day, and he said, well, I know that it's almost 80 degrees, but it looks like snow over there on my beach.
Okay.
So he goes and he looks a little closer, and there are so many aphids on his beach that it looked like snow on the branches. So he said he got a little advice. They said it was Beech Blight Aphids, and now he wants to know what to do.
Well, what he needs to do is, let's just say, take immediate action. Now, I don't know how big his beech tree is, but I do know those things, even as the fact that 10 of them can sit on your fingernail, they're in the population area of the bazillions, and they can really.
Is that a technical term?
That's a technical term, yes, very technical. They gather up on all the bark areas of the tree, and I can believe him that it looked like snow. I'm surprised he hasn't seen them a little before now, but in any event, now is the time to get after them. An aphid is totally unarmored. They have no. Well, they have an exoskeleton, but it's not going to stop one of the more normal types of control, and that would be the insecticidal soaps. Even to the extent you can make up your own if you want to. It's 1 to 3 tablespoons, and I would say in his case, if it looks like snow, I would go with 3 tablespoons full of regular liquid. Well, let's just call it soap.
Like a dish soap?
Yeah, dish soap type of thing.
Sure.
And put that in 1 gallon of water, shake it up good so it's, thoroughly distributed, and then spray. Now, I don't know the size of his beech. They can, of course, have a 2.5-foot trunk and stand 60 feet tall, but let's just assume that he'll at least be able to spray the bottom 12 or more feet, depending, a tank-type sprayer or one of those is forced through by the hose water and so on, and or think about calling an arborist in that can reach up there if they need to. But in any event, it's a relatively simple management. It's time to do it immediately. They're out and let's call it dancing. Their way of warding off enemies is to, do the boogie when you get up to them.
Yeah.
They can see you, feel you, whatever the devil it is, and they dance, in a very homicidal way. It's a funny thing, but they can kill beech after the 2nd or 3rd year of literally sucking it dry, and it's time to stop them as soon as you see them. Now, the odds are, in what he has described, white as snow, he won't get them all, and that's okay. Get as many as you can. It is even possible right now, with temperatures we've had and those anticipated, that he'd be able to get in 2 sprays. One just as soon as he can get at it, and the other then would be to follow up in about 10 days, because if there are any alive, they are all females and they all give birth to live little creatures. So that's kind of their life history. Insecticidal soaps, as I say, you can make your own or you can buy them at the garden store. You can use any of the pyrethroid types of insecticides and also the highly refined oils. As I say, these little guys are not armored in any way. They're completely open to your killing them, which is, well, you can't hear them scream, but they deserve to be dead because, as I say, this has become a major problem in Ohio's woods. And certainly if you have one you want to take care of, and can get to, etc., it's time to get that job done, and then be very careful to watch for the first advance of them in the spring. Well, there are various rigs that you can get. I'm picturing a beech tree having these clear up into the crown of the tree, and that may be a little bit more than a homeowner can spray. But in any event, whether you do it yourself, which is quite simple because it's the most basic of materials, or whether you have to hire an arborist, get the job done because they are known to flat out kill big, beautiful beech trees.
Hey, thanks again for listening to our podcast. Be sure to subscribe to our other podcasts as well, the Plant of the Week podcast and the Plant Talk Radio podcast, all on iTunes or your favorite podcast player. If you'd like to sponsor a daily podcast, contact us at fred@planttalkradio.com. To find out more about Fred Hauer and Plant Talk Radio, visit our website, planttalkradio.com.
Circle270media.com